Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like, you dislike, go ahead, shoot me a call, 219-413-9405, and we will play your take back on our next episode, of course. Now, look, man, the NFL draft was yesterday. I don't have too much on the draft because we got NBA playoffs right now. It's a lot going on in the sports world, so I really had to choose wisely on today's episode. But as far as the NFL draft, I do have a few things to say because there were some picks that stood out to me the most. And I'll just go over those really briefly before I go further on in the show. But a couple of NFL draft picks that really stood out to me the most. The first and foremost, obviously, I got to stay here in Chicago with the Chicago Bears. Let's soak in the moment. How great was that? Obviously, I won't even say the draft. The draft is not what I'm excited about with the Chicago Bears. How great is it that the front office has been doing one hell of a job over the past 4 to 5 months, this entire offseason for the Chicago Bears? Because going back to Justin Fields and trading him and trying to figure out if we were going to get him or Caleb Williams, I think the Bears did a damn good job really reorchestrating this offense and making sure that we're going to have somewhat of a successful season last year. And if anything, at least we know we're getting some sort of hype out of the Chicago Bears, because grabbing Caleb Williams was the start. And then at number 9, you grab another great receiver in Odunze. Like this was amazing. This is amazing. And then you mentioned all the other pieces that we've added through the offseason of Keenan Allen. Obviously kept DJ Moore, but DeAndre Swift adding some defensive pieces as well. Like this is great for the Chicago Bears. So I want to give kudos to them. And I say they stood out to one of the most teams that stood out to me because of what they've been doing over the past few months. They've been doing a phenomenal job in that front office. Man, shout out to Poles for doing this thing. The only thing I'm shocked about with the Bears, and the only thing I'm worried about, is the offensive line. But with so many pieces on in the skill positions on the offense, they got to make it work. No way you grab that many skill pieces without securing your offensive line. So I'm going to trust in the Bears that they know what they were doing by grabbing so many offensive weapons in these skill positions rather than making these offensive line changes. And we've seen, they grabbed the Bills offensive lineman, which is huge, but, ultimately that's one person out of 4 linemen and 5 linemen, and then don't even get to talking about guys you're going to be bringing off the sideline and stuff. So, hey, that's my only concern. Other than that, I'm really expecting the Bears to win at least 11 games this season. 11 games. And I know it's kind of a high standard, but look at who we have on this team. You got to start setting the standard high somewhere if you don't set it anywhere, because I'm not settling for another 7-9 season, an 8-8 season. That's not good enough, bro. Not when we drafted the number 1 pick, when we made a bunch of trades to bring over guys in these skill positions. That's not good enough. You got to go at least 11 games minimum. And I know it's possible because when we had Justin Fields, we finished 7-9. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is. 7-9 is what we finished. And we could have easily gotten 11 games. There was multiple situations where we had the game in the bag. We blew leads, but Justin Fields carried us and he helped us out. He helped us win these games with not even half of the guys we have at this skill position. It was really just him and DJ Moore. So, yes, Chicago Bears, we got to get 11 games for sure. 11 games is the new standard for this season. Tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell everybody that the Bears, it's a requirement that we get 11 games this season, because anything else is unacceptable, especially when we've done such a phenomenal job this offseason in building around this new orchestrated offense. So, hey, I'm excited for it. Other than the Chicago Bears, because obviously they're not the only team in the draft, and To answer that question of another team that did impress me, the Atlanta Falcons, they stood out to me. They didn't necessarily impress me. They didn't impress me, but they left me tongue-tied because, as you know, probably like last month, actually, time flies, but last month, it seems like a long time ago, but Kirk Cousins received a huge payday from the Atlanta Falcons. We paid him $180 million for 4 years, I believe it was. Falcons paid Kirk Cousins, who's in his back end of the 30s, $180 million with most of it guaranteed for 4 years. And then we turn around in the draft and draft a quarterback named Michael Penix Jr., who's phenomenal. But bro, what are we doing here? And I seen a report today where the Atlanta Falcons GM, he said, oh, well, Penix Jr., he's expected to at least be behind Kirk Cousins for 4 to 5 years. Bro, that's just mind-blowing to me because that's a little bit insane to keep such a great talent behind someone and on the sideline for 4 to 5 years. And we need to see how old Michael Penix Jr. is because I think he's 25, and obviously quarterbacks have a longer expectancy at the quarterback position. But still, you don't want the guy getting his NFL debut at age 30. Like, what the hell? So to me, I'm like, okay, immediately I'm thinking, all right, are we going to draft him or we drafted him? Are we going to trade him to somebody to get more ammo on either the defensive end or the offensive end? Or are we really going to hold on to a quarterback that we don't need who can clearly be a game changer somewhere else? So, you know, they left me speechless here, and, you know, I was kind of mind blown, but we got to see how old Michael Penix Jr. is because, I mean, this just doesn't add up to keep a guy like this on the sideline for so long when we know how effective he can be playing in the NFL. He's 23 right now, but I mean, ultimately, wait 5 years, 27, making a debut in the NFL? Ooh, I don't really stand behind that. All right, there was another team, another pick that stood out the most to me. The Los Angeles Chargers. I like their pickup. They picked up an old lineman, and to me, this solidified that signal of starting fresh and just completely rebuilding. We seen the Chargers give away damn near all of their pieces, damn near all of their offensive pieces this offseason a few months ago. So now when I see them draft the lineman this high, it stands out to me pretty much saying that they're trying to build from the ground up. Build that lineman up first or build that offensive line up and then, start working at the skill position. So it just solidified a rebuild for the Chargers. I thought the Chiefs, I love the Chiefs move. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Bills. Thank you. Thank you, Buffalo Bills. Look, I'm not a Chiefs fan, as you know. Look, as y'all know, NFL, I just cheer for teams. I like teams. I'm not about to go explain this all over again. You got to go back and catch one of the episodes. But I like teams. I'm not necessarily a bandwagon, but some people say that. I have a select few teams that I like. But I really do want the Chiefs to three-peat. I think it would be nice to see the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat, be the only team in history to actually make that happen. So thank you, Buffalo Bills. Thank you, Buffalo Bills. You traded with the Chiefs to give them this great pick. Now you give them an elite receiver, one of the fastest receivers in the NFL, the fastest receiver in this draft, Xavier Worthy. So now, oh my gosh, the Chiefs, they got Hollywood Brown as a receiver, and now they have one of the fastest guys in the draft, Xavier Worthy. And man, this is great for the Chiefs. This is great for the Chiefs above all. I love this moves for the Chiefs, and I'm excited for it. Last team that stood out to me in the draft was the Detroit Lions. They also made a great trade with the Dallas Cowboys. Almost said the Mavericks there. But they made that great deal with the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys, man, I don't know what the hell going on with them. I don't know what's going on with them. But, hey, thank you because, the hometown team, Detroit, hey, I would love to see them, get back to where they were last season. And it's going to take a lot. And it's going to take pieces like Arnold to, really lock down at the cornerback position and help the Lions get there. All right, man. Look, so let's switch gears just a little bit here because that's the draft. I enjoyed the draft. There's a lot more picks that went on. I probably could talk about the draft for a whole another 45 minutes. I'm not about to do that. That's just not my style. That's not my flow. That's not what I do here. I don't like talking about stuff for too long because the same way it might not hold your attention forever, it doesn't hold my attention forever either. So let's switch gears, man. Let's do this. The NBA here. We know Oklahoma City, they are beating down on the Pelicans so far this series. They got a lead on the Pelicans 3-0 or about to be 3-0. If it's not 3-0, by the time you listen to this, it will probably be 3-0 if it's not already. But the Pelicans, man, as we know, they're without Zion Williamson, and they're just fighting an uphill battle against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, when I'm looking at this Thunder game, it's it's clear that Thunder is just taking advantage of the Pelicans not having Zion Williamson. And Thunder, they've taken the lead 2-0 right now over the New Orleans Pelicans. But, you know, you can't keep using this as an excuse of not having Zion Williamson. I get the Oklahoma City Thunder has already won 2 games to the Pelicans, nothing. But this is not an excuse. You're in the playoffs. You have to figure out a way to win ball games. And this series doesn't get much light on it because these teams are in huge markets. They're not the most interesting. Both of these games have been fairly one-sided, in the Oklahoma City Thunder just really taking a commanding lead and controlling the game for most of the time. But ultimately, if the Pelicans want a fighting chance without Zion Williamson, this is what they're going to have to do. Brandon Ingram, bro, you have to step up. You are a star. You are an offensive talent who has a great amount of skill. You have to shoot the ball a lot more than 10 times if you want to survive in this series against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shooting the ball 10 times is not going to get you a fighting chance to go down to the wire with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if it's not going to be Brandon Ingram that does this for the Pelicans, somebody else has to be a scoring threat. You got to let it fly. Zion Williamson helped the Pelicans in so many different ways on the defensive end and also on the offensive end because he could create on the offensive end and he was playing great defense and rebounding on the defensive end. But when you don't have that, you don't match up well against the Thunder from an offensive perspective or a defensive perspective because they're running circles around you. So what do you do to survive? Let it fly. Let your good shooters shoot the ball. Let your offensive guys who have a good amount of skill set, let them shoot the ball. This is the only way you're going to survive. How do you think we see the Miami Heat going toe-to-toe with the Boston Celtics without Jimmy Butler? Because they get the ball and guys who can score the ball's hand. Tyler Hero, he has the ball and he's letting it fly when he's on the floor. And this is helping the Miami Heat stay afloat because a good player is either going to make the shot or miss the shot. That's the worst that's going to happen. And if he's truly a good player, he has a good chance at making sure the shot drops. Taking a good shot. But it's no excuse for the Pelicans to be, pulling up and saying, oh, we already lost this series because of Zion Williamson. No, make a coaching adjustment. The Pelicans is losing because they don't defend well. And they can't score the ball enough. They're playing passive on the offensive end when they're going against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Seeing people pass up shots they should be taking. So that's one error that they got to fix. Guys who are skilled offensively, they're not aggressive when shooting the ball, and that 1,000% has to change. As far as the Oklahoma City Thunder, this is a solid team. They're a good team. I'll give them credit. I'll give them credit where it's due, man. That's a solid team over there. I think they're going to wrap the series up in 4 games. They're versatile. They can beat you however you want it and however you allow them to beat you. And I absolutely love that they are just really, really utilizing the mid-range game. And this team, they're not fixated on shooting a 3-pointer or only getting a layup. They take whatever you give them on the offensive end, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We see a lot of teams that's thriving right now in the playoffs play this way, where they're taking whatever the offense or whatever the defense gives them. And this is how you should be playing basketball. If it's an open layup, you take the open layup. If there's a lane that allows you to go to the cup and get a layup, you should do it. Take advantage of it. So I like this Oklahoma City Thunder, man. I've been giving them a lot of hell over the past probably month or so, just how they're young. And I still think they're going to probably get the boot second round when they play the Clippers or the Mavericks. But ultimately, it will be a good series. I mean, they're a good team. They play well. They play defense. They rebound. They take good shots on the offensive end. And the role guys outside of Chet and the Mr. MVP right now, they're playing good. The role guys outside of them two are playing really, really good. So voicemail callers, as always, you can always shoot us a call, 219-413-9405. If you have a quick take or if you have anything you just want to get off your chest, respond to something I said if you were listening. Again, man, I always want to remind y'all, if you send a voicemail, make sure it makes sense, because some of y'all be sending some stuff and I ain't putting that on here. You got to make sense. You got to make some sort of sense, at least give some sort of solid take. It can be a question. It could be a comment. It could be about how Darvin Ham just sit there with his hands in his pocket when he's supposed to be coaching the Lakers. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But look, we're going to take a quick break. We got some news coming up in just a second. Don't go anywhere. It's halftime. All right, let's get into it, man. News for the run. The NBA awards have been coming out lately, and Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers, he has won the NBA's Most Improved Player of the Year award. Now, last year, Maxey, he averaged 20 points and 3 assists. This year, Tyrese Maxey averaged 25 points and 6 assists for the season. There was some speculation around here that Chicago Bulls' Kobe White was supposed to get the Most Improved Player of the Year award because he had himself a season this year. And when you look at the numbers, his numbers did have a higher increase in statistics. So last year, he averaged 9 points and 3 assists last year. But this year, Kobe White, he put up 19 points and 5 assists. So, hey, do what you will with that information. Personally, I think Kobe White should have won this award because Tyrese Maxey has already been good over the past few years. And Kobe White, he was playing out of this world through the back half of the season, through the beginning of the season, and through the middle of the season. He's really been keeping the Bulls afloat on their own despite the ups and downs and despite all the injuries that's been going down in Chicago. So definitely, hey, Kobe White, you're the real Most Improved Player of the Year. Now, the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year award went to the Minnesota Timberwolves forward, Naz Reid. Coming off the bench, Reid averaged 13 points and 5 rebounds. His stats do nothing compared to the impact he has when he's actually on the floor, and the impact in his is so much better than his stats. But defensively, he's there. Rebounding, he's there, and mainly on the defensive end is where he plays the largest role for the Minnesota Timberwolves, because coming off the bench when you sub Gobert and you sub Karl-Anthony Towns out of the game, Naz Reid, he definitely holds it down in the paint, playing defense and grabbing some rebounds there. So kudos to him for getting Sixth Man of the Year. Definitely well deserved. In the NFL, A.J. Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles have agreed on a 3-year, $96 million deal with $84 million guaranteed. A.J. Brown, he's currently the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL on a per-year basis. A.J. Brown isn't the only wide receiver that's getting a big payday. The Detroit Lions, they made a huge payday for their receiver, St. Brown. He became one of the highest paid wide receivers in total after the Lions signed him to an extension. And also for the Detroit Lions, they made that great move on draft day. That's going to help them out. And above all, this team they're really locked in on trying to get back to where they were. Now, another great thing that happened is kind of involving college football, but also NFL. Reggie Bush, he received his Heisman Award. The NCAA, they granted Reggie Bush his Heisman Award due to the eligibility of the NIL deals and players being able to make money and profit off of their name, which was the same reason that Reggie Bush had his Heisman Award revoked. But now he's got it back. So Mr. Heisman is back in the house. I'm excited to see some commercials from Kia or Nissan. It's Nissan that has the Heisman Day commercials during college football. So I'm excited to see that. This is dope for Reggie Bush. We all know he was one of the best Heismans in college football, especially of some of our generations. I don't know the age bracket of you who's listening right now, but I'll say definitely for me, he's one of the best Heismans that I've ever seen in the game of college football. Now in the MLB, if you follow the Yankees, you see the Yankees if you follow the Yankees at all in the past few years, you know it was only a matter of time. Aaron Judge, he's officially passed the great Derek Jeter in home runs. A few days ago in the series against the Athletics, Aaron Judge, he hit a home run number 261, putting him past the great Derek Jeter. Wow. Yankees, man, they've been on a tear too. I'm excited to see what goes down as MLB continues to heat up as well. Cubs, they had a rough game they won, but it was just a sloppy game against the Houston Astros. Went and checked that game out with a couple of friends, great people, and we had a blast. But ultimately, man, it was a sloppy game. It was cold. It was freezing cold, but we can't let that be an excuse every time, you know? You still got to capitalize on certain stuff. Anyway, look, man, hey, it's time for a conversation here. We got to bring it in. So huddle up. Huddle up and open your ears, close your devices, sit back and think about what I'm about to say, because some people, they've really taken offense to Caitlin Clark being the face of the WNBA. And I don't know why they would take offense to such thing when, you know, she's literally a golden ticket for anybody who has her on a contract right now. And yes, that's a terrible way to put it, as a golden ticket. But Caitlin Clark right now, the NBA would be stupid not to market her the same way the NBA marketed Michael Jordan. They would absolutely be foolish. Caitlin Clark is what Jordan was to the NBA, but in the WNBA. And I'm not afraid saying that statement, because Jordan, he transcended the NBA in stardom and on a national scale. He took the NBA to new heights because of what he was doing on the floor. And yes, there were other great players around. You had great players before him, which is very similar to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark isn't the first great player to go to the WNBA, but yet you got to keep in mind, we've never seen this type of play style. We've never seen this type of greatness out of any WNBA player in terms of shooting the ball particularly. We haven't seen that. This is something new. She's great in terms of what she can bring to the game of basketball overall. And obviously, when she has so many fans like she does, and she has so much clout like she does, you have to take advantage of what she brings to your league. So yeah, get upset about, there's other great players in the WNBA. You got so many great women who's won MVPs, who've won championship, who's Hall of Famers, who's currently in the making of being in the Hall of Fame, who's played in such and such finals. All these statistics are great, but at the end of the day, none of them are bringing to the game what Caitlin Clark is bringing to the game. They paved a road that Caitlin Clark doesn't have to do, but she's paving a different road for those in the future, and you have to understand that. So the WNBA would be absolutely foolish not to take advantage of the marketing tool that they have in Caitlin Clark. Drive up all the sales, put her names on all the shirts, put her names on arenas, stadiums, because you look at Iowa, that worked out pretty damn good for them. She wouldn't be getting offered so many different contracts if that wasn't the case. So yeah, you got to use her the same way the NBA used Michael Jordan. Make sure she's in the spotlight. Make sure she's on TV. Make sure she's in commercials, all of that stuff. And of course, it's going to get annoying. Anytime someone's marketed to that level, it's going to be annoying. You see LeBron got marketed to that level at one point. Kobe, Michael, Bird, Magic, all of these other great players got marketed to this point, and it's annoying, of course. But that's what helps the game grow. That's what turns certain people into the face of the league, because they have one large crowd that hates them and they have another crowd that's cheering them on. So what does that do when the game is not on? It's putting 2 and 2 together, or 1 and 1 together, however you want to look at it, and it's making people have a conversation. The more you have a conversation, the more you're going to expand. So with that being said, have a conversation about this and send this to somebody. But anyway, seriously. That they got to take advantage of that. And I mean, right now, the WNBA is still fairly young, bro. Like the NBA, they had to wait damn near 40 years until they got Michael Jordan doing things with the basketball that people never seen. The WNBA, they're at the 30-year mark, and now they have Caitlin Clark doing things with the basketball that people have never seen in the women's league. Because, yeah, there's a lot of great shooters, but be real with yourself. Be real with yourself before you start hating about anything. Before you start hating on Caitlin Clark and saying, oh, other people are good, be real. We've never, ever, ever seen anybody in the WNBA pull up this consistently from half court and from behind the three-point line. There's great shooters, there's pure shooters, but we've never seen nobody do it like this, and also with this much passing vision as well. So With that being said, yeah, they got to market the hell out of Caitlin Clark. They got to market that girl. All right, look, man. All right, let's switch gears. Back to the NBA. It's playoffs. This is probably the funniest thing, and I don't even want no music, so I'm about to cut the music, but this is transitioning. This is me catching my breath for a second. All right, look. Oh man, can you really believe this? So just think. All right, off season. This is the off season. I'm gonna try my best to paint a picture for you. This is the off season of 2023. You got the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets opening the season with a matchup, a rematch of last year's playoffs that resulted in the Lakers getting swept. A lot of trash talk went on. We heard the Denver Nuggets say, "We're the Lakers' daddy." Verbatim, literally said it word for word. I think it was the owner or the GM of the Nuggets. He said, "We are the Lakers' daddy." You had Anthony Davis and LeBron James talking about, "Oh, we can't wait to play them. We know what we did wrong. It's a lot of talk going on. They're not really, they caught us slipping. We're better. We're more improved. We know how to play the Denver Nuggets now." We've seen a lot of trash talk. But, bro, look, hey, to hell with all of that stuff, because right now, bro, the Lakers is getting their ass whooped. They getting their ass handed to them right now. Darvin Ham ain't doing a damn thing about it. He's sitting on the sideline, just chopping it up with his hands in his pocket, looking like the meme from Twitter from Friends, looking like the Friends meme from Twitter. I'm gonna try and put it in a video as best as I can, but those who listen to the podcast, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to search it. Friends meme with guy with his hands in his pocket. That's what Darvin Ham is doing right now. He's not doing anything. You got D'Angelo Russell shooting inconsistent as hell. I told y'all this was gonna happen. I told you. The Lakers are not as talented as the Denver Nuggets. Even on the Denver Nuggets' worst day and the Lakers' best day, they still not fucking with the Denver Nuggets, bro. And that's just what it is. That's what it is. I'm trying to watch my language, but nah, hell no. No. We ain't doing all of that goody two stuff today. No, hell no. The Lakers, they getting smacked up, bro. I told you, the Lakers don't have as great as a team as y'all think. That regular season stuff, bro, that regular season BS, bro, don't let that stuff fool you. The Nuggets are a machine. They play great basketball. They play great defense, because that was a key piece for the Lakers, is that they couldn't really score when they needed to. When they needed these important and impactful shots to go in, they couldn't go down. And that was a big part in what caused the Lakers to lose this game, and ultimately what's about to cause them to lose this series. Because it's not like the Lakers are playing horrible every single time. They play decent. But it's just the Nuggets, they're a great team and they know how to close out ball games. And it's just that simple. So, man, it's funny that the Lakers are about to get swept again, bro. Back-to-back years. And man, kudos to, shout out to LeBron for giving us something to talk about, giving us some more content that's just about to have the internet in a frenzy. But I highly doubt the Lakers pull off game 4. At this point, their spirit is broken. They are done. They're depleted. Where's my phone? There was a clip. Someone asked, or I didn't hear the question about what LeBron said, but I'm gonna just play it just to stir up the pot a little bit. I don't know what the question was. It was probably some off the wall type stuff. But this is what the leader of y'all Los Angeles Lakers said, bro. Something after the game, they asked him something, and this is what he had to say, bro. He said, "It's just basketball.
At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
It's just basketball." Can you believe it?
It's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Can you believe this? It's just basketball.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Oh, bro. This is what he's saying. Y'all leader is defeated, bro. Darvin Ham them wore this man out. He done stripped him of his game.
And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
He stripped him of his pride, bro. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. I can't believe it, bro. Anyway, look, man, that's all I got for y'all today. I appreciate you if you hang with me. My voice is about to give out. I've been doing a lot of talking. I need to sip some water at this point. I'm gonna take a big heads up. All right, let's finish this out, man. The last note here just to leave y'all with something positive, I'm going to say, man, I've said it once and I said it before. Take that time if you need it to devote to yourself, bro. Really devote that time to yourself. If you've been feeling overworked, if you've been feeling like, you've been doing a lot, putting in a lot of work and you're not satisfied mentally, take that time for yourself to rejuvenate. You gotta take that time. This is currently what I was just going through this week. I always try and just relate these messages to things that I've been going in as I'm on this podcast journey, trying to just, make this the main thing, make this all of that, and, become the best sports podcaster that's really out there. And that's ultimately the goal, is to be number one in the category of sports podcasting. Like that's the whole lane. So as I'm on that journey trying to attain that goal, these are things that I come across. And some of these things is like I work hard. I'm at it every single day, weekends as well. And there's times I get exhausted, bro. I get exhausted sometimes. I'm like just preparing and doing all the behind the scenes stuff, sometimes editing, breaking down clips. I get exhausted. And it's normal. It's okay. Because when you recover, you take that time, you actually get some sleep. You actually eat the proper food. You actually eat meals or eat food in general, because sometimes I know as fellas, when you're focused, I won't even say as fellas, but when you're focused, you forget to do that. You're just locked in. And sometimes that is the case. But when you're really at it and you take that time for yourself, rejuvenate, you come back even stronger. And I'm just a firm believer that has been the case for me as I'm almost a decade in now, man. That is amazing. I came to that realization the other day, bro. I am almost a decade in. June will be 7 years of me podcasting, bro, which is crazy. And like, I'm not saying that to toot my own horn, but at the same time, I'm saying it to bring myself back to reality of just being present, of, how much I've really dedicated in my life to trying to become number one. And it's not an overnight process. I know the shit's not going to happen next week. It may not happen the week after that. Shit, it might not even happen in the next 3 to 4 years. Who knows? But ultimately, I'm trying to, the only way to get there is to try and fail and learn and live. So that's the angles that I'm taking. So I want to leave y'all with that, man. A lot of this stuff is just coming straight from the heart of me talking, bro. I have a tough time. What I've been trying to do lately is really be open. And I have to stay conscious of trying to be open, because it's not comfortable for me, truth be told. It's not necessarily comfortable for me to share all the things that I'm going through, or share the adversity that I'm facing at times of working full time and also full time podcasting and doing all of this different stuff. So, it's not necessarily comfortable to admit certain things, but I know if I don't admit it and I'm not open to it, then I'm never going to be able to help somebody out. I'm never going to be able to help the person who's trying to accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish, whether it's going to play professional sports, because all this shit is the same, bro. It's all the same. Whatever you do, you got to devote time. It's going to be a journey, whether you're trying to be a painter, whether you're trying to be a broadcaster, whether you're trying to be a professional athlete or a professional journalist, or even if you're just trying to be the fucking manager of a plant, the owner of a company. It does not matter what it is. Whatever you try and put your energy to succeed, it's going to take effort, and it's going to be a journey. It's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be roadblocks that set you back. But as long as you learn from it, you get up and you take another step forward, I promise you, bro, we all going to get there together. We all going to get there together. I don't know how I got so fucking motivational right now, but but look, man, hey, that's real spill. That's real spill, and it's only a matter of time for all of us. If you out there on the run, that's why it's called the run, bro. Because hey, we on a run. We just on a run, bro. We live life and we're on a run as we doing this, and it's multiple things that's coming at us. When you running, sometimes you come across some chunky sticks. Sometimes you come across unpaved road. You come across rocks, all of that stuff. So, hey, that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. So anyway, look, if you've been hanging with me this far and you done hung through the motivational speech, dog, you are family. You are family, bro. You gotta call in. I would love to hear that too. I would call in here and tell me, bro, because you are family. You have every right to ask me for anything. Just don't ask for no money, because yeah. Just don't ask for no money. I'll chop it up with you. I'll give you time. Time is more valuable than money. Anyway, look, send this to a cousin, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew. I've been on here too long, bro. I'm about to get some damn rest. I'm fucking exhausted. Only if you knew the week I've had. I'm not gonna spend another hour on here telling y'all about it, but I'm fucking exhausted. Oh my gosh, this has been one hell of a week. I'm so grateful I'm here. I'm so grateful I get the podcast with y'all. Anyway, look, hey, send this to somebody you love. Send this to somebody you're friends with, coworker, niece, nephew, anybody, uncle, brother, coworker, whatever. Until then, man, we will be back later on this week. Follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast, and you can follow my personal at I am Manny Wilson. But until then, man, this is The Run, and we will be back later on next week with another episode. And man, we will be back so on and so on and so on.